for All was Team Same Name's first time going to an HCW show, and that's next weekend. So yeah, and then you guys had us on a couple months after that. So
yeah, we were. Our first episode actually dropped in July, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So it hadn't been a year yet.
Yeah, it's like it's pretty. I know. I just can't believe how much has changed within a year. Like literally, so much has changed.
I haven't even done one of these, and it'll be in August. It'll be a year, just because I was doing Bumping Chops.
Yeah, I think me and Jordan James were episode 5 for Bumping Chops.
Dang.
Yeah, and you guys are what, episode 20 something now?
Yeah, episode 25 will drop tomorrow.
That's what I was wondering, if you guys recorded on this past Thursday, to talk about Justice for All.
Yeah, it was close to, no, we talked about Justice for All. Oh, well, yeah, we did talk about that, but we also talked about the Homecoming episode.
That was such a good show. My legs were bruised for like a whole couple weeks. I think they're just now healing from that show.
Did you take more of the blunt, or did Jackie?
What happened is it hit my knee and then it scraped down, but it landed and stayed on Jackie's toe. So I think it actually did more damage to Jackie's toe. Don't know if it actually broke it or not. But I had bruise of like a knee bump and scraping down my leg. So we kind of took different bumps.
Well, that was better than, I guess it was a little more exciting than Wichita. You ain't going to get that close.
Well, it was kind of, the vibe of it was pretty much like Legacy, but I knew it was like the new, like the first comeback for Salina and everything like that. So I knew as soon as we got there, I told my boyfriend, I was like, this is us showing Salina like what HCW can be. So we're going to be like 10 times louder to kind of lead the crowd and show what it's going to be. We're going to be obnoxious. And if you get overstimulated, go outside and vape. But I'm telling you, we know the assignment when we get there. So
yeah, I didn't know what to expect at Salina. I was like, man,
it was pretty cool.
Hyping up Salina. So I was like,
yeah,
well, I'll have fun with it.
Yeah, and Mindy told us that the table was not supposed to break and everything like that.
Not that table.
Yeah, so it was pretty, like, we were thinking, it was like, if it was any other people that were sitting there that didn't know HCW and this is your first visit and you get bruised like that, I mean, people could take it the wrong way, but it was us, right. And we're like, bruise us all day. Throw me through a table. Like, it's fine.
Yeah, when I announced Mindy to come out, like, we had already sort of, talked about it, but like, on this next episode of Bumping Chops, you'll find out what he'll ask me, like, what if she slaps you? I was like, oh, what?
She came up to me and she was not happy because, like, we always knew, like, if you know Grace, you know that she has a bit of a tough edge to her. She has a bit of a hard hook to her. So right. It's definitely, when I saw her go bad, I love anyone who becomes a heel. So I was like, I will follow you into the dark. But she did not want me to, like, yay, Mindy. She did not want that. She wants an opposite reaction. So I was like, oh. So she was kind of like frustrated with me, but I was like, but I love you. I'm sorry. I love you. So I have to know the assignment better next time.
Oh, I found out real quick.
Yeah, I loved her yelling at the referee. That was probably one of my favorite clips of the videos.
Oh, that was at that show?
Mm-hmm. Where, like, I think it was LeVay that she was fighting and everything, and she was holding her against the rope, and the referee was trying to get her off, and she, like, chased the referee down to the corner, yelling at her.
No, that show was wild.
That was such a good show. But then I heard you guys, like, for the background and everything like that, finding the flag, just a little bit of little things was going wrong, trying to get everything put together.
Oh, like the American flag?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought it was up on the banister. Like where they come out, like they hung that flag, and then the venue has their own flag.
Oh.
So I don't know where the flag actually is in the venue. I know that the one that HCW uses for all their shows is hanging right there by the curtain where they come out. No,
Okay.
because
Yeah,
I
it
was
was a
facing
great location.
I was facing the curtain with the singer, the guy that was singing the national anthem.
Uh-huh. Yeah, he came to sit at our table and everything with his kiddos, and it was pretty cool. He told us when he was leaving, he was like, when they told me we were sitting next to you guys, I didn't know it'd be the rowdiest crowd. I was like, they probably shouldn't tell people that. That's probably an element of surprise. That's awesome. It's good that, Jackie and Jay, it's an experience. Either sitting next to Jackie or Jay. We first started Team Sane sitting next to Jay, which is not as loud but he's still pretty rough and he
I think
can
he's
hit
scared of
those
the mic. I
tables
think he's
hard.
scared of microphones too. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's just a very soft-spoken guy. He doesn't speak much, but when he does, he's very passionate and stuff about it.
oh yeah,
But it's mostly Jackie's ideas that will come across first, for sure.
and that's usually probably how it should be. That way, there's no fighting involved.
Right. I don't know if it's like Jay's a quiet guy or if he's a smart guy. It just like
Probably a
lets
little bit of
Jackie do the
both.
talking. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But no,
But
like
I mean,
the reason why I had you on here is just because I try to get people that I find to be like people who succeed and just like whether that be in content creation or people that I know personally. I've got several friends. I've got a guy that actually he makes knives and now he's an author also. So like he just little
oh,
things like that, just special achievements of people that I find to be cool. And you're one of those people just because, yeah, we've gotten to know each other through wrestling. Like if it wasn't for wrestling, I doubt we would have ever met each other. So I've got to give that
right.
to wrestling and then also Billy. So it was really Ray at that point because if Ray and you
Yeah.
never talked about it to be on your
Yeah.
podcast and then Billy never heard it and then so on. So there's a domino effect to who it all boils down to. But why
Right.
don't you kind of give people who would be listening to this, I guess, just a quick run through of who you are and where, like how you started podcasting and like, I guess what your journey is going forward.
Yeah. So I started podcasting about last year in 2024. It was the summer of 2024. And the idea actually went back a little further. And I have the text message to my producer, who's my good friend. And he had a studio upstairs from the place I was working. And I just texted him and I had it in my idea. I was like, what advice would you give to someone that wants to start a podcast? Asking for a friend, trying to be vague, but not vague. And he said, just do it. Like, even if it's recording with your phone, just record your ideas and everything. So I wanted to do it, but I didn't have the confidence to do it on my own. So I had my ex-husband at the time do it with me, and he is one of the funniest people I've ever known. So I knew me and him have great banter, and we can talk about a variety of things. But wrestling always seemed to be the easiest topic, especially when we went to HDW show for the first time. We were just super invested in the stories and just that you go to the Osage and it's the Osage Rec Center. But when you go to an HCW show, it's a whole different universe. And that's what it felt like. It felt like an escape. It felt like, are those really basketball hoops in the background? Like, you don't even see them anymore. You see the wrestlers, you see the storytelling. And so that became one of the easiest topics to talk about. And along with that, we started getting back into WWE. Then we saw Ray randomly in the parking lot. And I've known Ray for like 10 years. And we saw him in the parking lot of Dylan. And we invited him on the podcast. And then after inviting him on, we went to our first show. And we just been in love with it since. And I have not missed a show since. My favorite part of podcasting, though, forward to now, is just being able to host conversations. I feel like I'm really good at talking with people and then being able to like engage and tell me secrets or just be vulnerable with me enough where I have so much content that I had to cut out because people were surprised that I can't believe I confessed that to you. I can't believe I talked to you about that. And I just met you like 2 weeks ago. Like, so the best part is being able to host conversations and just get to know people on a certain level that I don't know, it feels technology feels like it has held us back from being able to hold genuine conversations. If you walk into a restaurant or room or even stop by a bus stop, most people are on their phones and not engaging with strangers. But if you reach out to someone and be like, can you come over? Do you want to have a conversation with me? I have alcohol, I have edibles, anything to make you feel relaxed, but we can talk about what your business is and then come on and just have a genuine conversation. And of course, I'm a sasshole, so I like to have conversations that bring a little risque conversation and get people to know people on a different level rather than a dry interview. And that was something I had to learn from transferring from Team Same Name to calling all sassholes, because Team Same Name was very dry and it had some type of interview style to it, which was great and hearing great stories. But I feel like at a certain point, people like to hear that risque, those conversations and get intrigued other than just, where were you born? How old are you? Oh, you like wrestling? Like, you have to keep people engaged. And it's been a year process to learn my hook, but I think I'm honing it as the days go on.
Were you worried about, like, when you started it, like, did you do your own research? Well, I mean, did you plan on even editing it yourself?
So that's funny because my podcast producer, how he usually does the podcast is he'll edit the front end and he'll edit the back end, but everything in the middle stays. And I told him I don't feel confident in myself. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to repeat things, or there's certain. So because he is a good friend of mine, he made a deal with me. If he'll send me the audio, I listen to it all the way through and and I give him certain cuts, and then he's willing to do that. He knows there's been times I've sent that man like 30 to 50 cuts, and I know he isn't happy with those cuts, but him being so loyal and being so awesome with me, he's worked with me. And then there's been times like my first episode where I had no cuts or nothing, no notes or anything, but making the description was the Only Pride with Only Friends episode. And he was just in heaven and loved me so much that week, because I was like, guess what? No cut. And then I had a few cuts for the Ray Leon episode and everything. But yeah, to me, I was nervous because I just figuring out my rhythm and figuring out how to host certain conversations. It seems to be a flow you have to tweak perfectly.
Right. And it's probably better. Like, I had to go on and teach myself how to edit like video, like to learn that stuff, like at 30, I don't remember even how old I was, like 30, 35, 34. That's bizarre.
Yeah.
So that was probably my biggest struggle, is like, man, one, hooking up the audio. Like, if you can't just plug in, like, you can just plug in a microphone, but it's not going to sound very good.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why I'm very lucky.
Video.
Right. I'm scared to death of video, and I'm excited to have it. I feel like I'll eventually get there to have video, but like audio is already, I'm so lucky for my producer, Troy Trussell from Trussell Media, if I can give him a shout out now. I am so lucky to have him because he's been so patient and willing to show me how to use the Rodecaster, allowed me to send as many edits as I want or as little edits as I want. It's one of those things me and him talk about, like, we're going to be famous together. Like, someday me and him are going to rock the world and be famous. But audio, video, it's a beast. Even social media is a beast. So I get
overwhelmed with social media.
Yeah. And there's some days I would love doing it, and there's some days I just can't even think about it. It's just,
I go on weeks breaks, like, without even staring at anything unless I have like to upload a reminder of an episode. That's the only time that I actually focus on it.
Right.
That's, and like, I ain't got time for that.
Right. Even then I get tired. Like, I'll upload, or it'll be like Wednesday. And then after that, it's on Wednesday, and I'm like, oh, episode dropped, and I should have said something on Tuesday to hype people up. It's a beast. And it really doesn't take a lot, but it does take a lot too at the same time.
scheduling, it goes scheduling like a time for somebody who has a busy schedule. The recording process is probably the easiest part about everything.
Best part. Yeah.
Now, like with audio, like, I don't know, like I was recording all audio there at the beginning, and then we went to video just because we were using StreamYard with the Chubby Buddies, but then I was trying to find out the best recording platform, and I was using Zoom forever. Well, at least for the first few of them, but then like it's hard to set up cameras in a room to try to get the audio to match and all that other stuff. But then I started to, I guess, dive deep into the video editing process for multi-camera podcasting. And that's where I was like, oh man, this is going to be way more money than I want to spend. But then there's shortcuts, like one camera can do numerous different things with people here. But then when you go to do this stuff like this, it's like, it's way more flexible for other people, especially people that don't want to drive. I mean, I do think that you get a different type of conversation with in-person stuff, but I also think that you can make that with stuff like this.
Yes. And that's something like, because I'm mostly in person. I've always been pretty much in person. I haven't even set up my own account for this and everything, which is something I've been telling you and multiple people I want to do because there's more conversations to be had than within my own community. But there is something special about being in person with someone. I feel like especially this past month with Pride Month, I've had some people come in and tell some very vulnerable stories. And because they're like crying or on the brink of crying, I can go and comfort them in a way you can't do across the screen. So there's some benefits to it, but then there's always like Logan Knight, when I first had him on the podcast, he was like, oh, I didn't know this was in person. Let me figure out a time. And he's always been willing to work with making sure he was in town. So you have to work with those certain people to make sure they're in town and connect at those times. But yeah, I think I'm ready to start going a little more virtual, but I just don't know. I don't know. It's a beast, and
it takes a lot of test runs. Like with Bumping Chops, like I've never had somebody in the studio 24/7. So with me and Billy, it's like, well, I had to figure things out. At first, we were just running one camera. I mean, I had the Rodecaster, that was fine. But then trying to get the other people to have just as quality audio, that's why I went with Riverside. It makes the audio sound like you're right here with us and everything like that. But then I can bring they record their separate tracks and I pull them right into my editing software and I can edit it clean. Now, when there's like with you and Jordan, when you guys first did your Team Same Name, when it's two people on one track, that's difficult because if you sound fine, the other person doesn't sound fine. And if I tweak with something, then it messes everything up.
Right. And
I think I sent you a picture.
Yes, you showed me that. And it was so funny because my producer, I told her we're going to be on this podcast and everything. Can we just use your like studio to show we have good lighting? And he's like, no, I want to make sure you guys sound good. And then he set it all up, but we set it up like 2 or 3 hours earlier in the day. And then I guess the computer shut down and all the audio disconnected. And you were there. You saw the troubles we had.
And the biggest issue was the output from your computer to the Rodecaster or vice versa. But it made you guys so loud to where I could only lower you so much to where it sounded okay.
Yeah. And then even then sounding okay, we sounded like we were underwater a little.
Yeah, but that also had something to do with some of the post-processing of it. It wasn't the audio itself. The audio itself just had a lot of background noise. And with the Rodecaster, like the Rodecaster 2, you have the Rodecaster 1 over there. And the difference is I've got post-processing already programmed to Billy and my mic. So I don't have to ever edit. Once I have Billy's mic and my mic set, I don't ever edit any of our audio except for when Billy wants to scream. Because then his voice carries over to mine. It's like, oh, man. So I try to mute my mic when I know he's about to say something loud.
Besides the like digital and like the sound and audio process of, because Recess Ruckus, if I'm right, was your first podcast that you kind of launched, and then you started doing Chubby Buddies with your friends, and then Bumping Chops came in. What has been the biggest lesson you've learned, especially with doing interviews and stuff like that you've learned?
Well, that's the thing. I don't feel like it's interview, especially when I know the person. So, like, if it's somebody I haven't ever met, then it sort of feels like that. But I try to make it feel as casual as possible. So, the first stranger that I ever personally met, never talked to him outside of maybe the message shot, was probably Jack Stacks Eats. Like, that was the very first interview I ever did with nobody that I'd never met. And that was like, it was a blessing in disguise because I found out that him and I are the exact same age, but I was like, dude, this dude's got to be like 10 years younger than me. And I was like, what am I going to talk to him about? But we found out that we went to the same college. Like he was at the same college that I was at the same time when we lived in Great Bend, Kansas. So that was pretty wild.
Yeah. Like kind of proves that a world is small. Point.
Yeah. Especially when like, where has this guy been, like, outside of sports? Because he was a basketball player, and this guy just showed up on my phone one day doing a review of a food place, and I was like, so I was hooked, so I was watching that. I mean, I like food. Who doesn't like food? Of course. But that's where I was like, man, and then I shot him a message to go try this pizza place, and then that's where our I guess, small relationship began, was just that.
Yeah. Yeah, I love all the foodies and stuff that are in Wichita, like, my producer, Troy Trussell, he does live local, and then he does the Wichita dinner table with Wichita by Edie and Annette Lawless. And I can't pronounce it, but he's the one that always keeps his face gastrologist or something like
the Kansas gastronomist.
Yes, he always keeps his face hidden and stuff. So he does.
Wichita by Edie did that for a while, too. He didn't want people to know what he looked like.
Yeah, he kind of does the same thing. He kind of keeps it like this.
Yeah, he has like shades and a hat, and then his microphone's like right here.
Right. I think that's pretty smart because you want to keep it at the most genuine and everything like that. But, and of course, he has DJ Carbon on there too, who's such a cool guy. He's so nice and everything, like so laid back for someone that's super famous in our town. And I don't know, I think me transferring to Calling All Sassholes, it's something I wanted to be like a respect in the community in some ways. Like if I can't be, I don't know if I have my social media like game honed, but if I could like have the podcast honed up, but it's a beast. Like trying to I
honestly want nothing to do with the social media except for like I'll post about it, but like watching or looking at analytics and stuff like that, like I want no business in that.
I know. I only focused on my analytics right before I hit 1,000 downloads. And then after I hit 1,000 downloads, I don't even focus anymore. Of course, like looking at how many episodes downloads I'm getting per episode is a lot more than I was getting with Team's Same Name, which kind of makes me proud, like being Calling All Sassholes and doing it on my own. I got majority of those downloads on my own. And that's just something that kind of, I was
Did you keep the same analytics from that to this?
What do you mean?
Like your Calling All Sassholes downloads, did that add up to also Team Same Name, or was that two separate downloads?
Yeah. With Team Same Name, I think before I started, I only had like around 400 downloads. And then within 3 months of Calling All Sassholes, I got 1,000. The most popular episode with Team Same Name, I think only got like 21 downloads. Now, all the HCW episodes are my most heavy hitting episodes. I get about 50 to 60 downloads per episode on those. So
I'll be honest, I have no idea how many episodes I get downloads on.
Yeah, like how many people.
I get people who watch it like on Spotify for creators or whatever, their hosting thing. But YouTube, like I look at those views are just live right there. But to go look at Spotify ones, like you've got to go deep and look for it.
Right. The numbers will mess with you too. If you're like obsessed with the numbers.
Oh, I just stopped looking at the numbers altogether.
Yeah,
I was like, I ain't even gonna waste my time with it.
Right. I just throw content out and most of the people seem to like it, especially with this new edge that have come out. Besides being just interview style, it's more like conversational, combative, a little sassy, and more hot seat questions. People seem to like be more intrigued and downloading, and it's more, I think it's getting more word of mouth. Like people I didn't think were listening to my podcast come up to me and say they like my stuff. And I'm like, oh, like I'm shocked by it and everything. And I think you guys are doing so good with Bumping Chops. Like I know you guys came out probably a month or a few weeks after my first episode of Team Same Name, and we're a weekly podcast, and you guys were every other week. But you guys have really killed it, like having guests on, and then I love it when it's just you and Billy too, because it kind of reminds like you guys just have this natural banter and brotherhood to you guys to talk about things.
And that's the thing. Like, I think the idea is I don't want it to be an interview. It's more like I'm trying to get to know them, because that's a conversation. Like an interview is like, where'd you grow up? How old are you? Where'd you go to school?
You're right.
You don't ask those questions. You ask questions where those answers get answered in the question that you asked, rather than maybe I'm not Barbara Walters and I'm not Jimmy Fallon. I'm not going to interview you. I'm going to ask curious. Like, I hate those questions like does pineapple belong on pizza? It's like, oh my God.
Right. So it's a good question. You can tell if the person's a psychopath or not, but but it's still one of those. I used to like reframe away from interviews to like, I like hosting conversations. I like, and small businesses.
Debate, something that like makes them think about what they want to say, rather than whether it's about them or how they feel about something.
Right, exactly. And then like small businesses, because I give small business, I reach out to them, see if they want to come on. And most of the time they want to listen to my stuff first. And then most of the time they don't do their homework and they just come on. But I want to give them the opportunity, because I tell them I'm pretty sassy. I like to have fun. I like to get to know you in a different way, versus like, I want people to know what your first kiss was like. And do you regret it to this day? Kind of stuff like that.
Right.
So I want to give them the opportunity to like, this is what the podcast form is like. Do you like it? So I give them the opportunity to like hear the track themselves. So when my producer sends me the track, I'll often and not send it to the guests, and they can listen to it and they can say, I didn't like that. I don't want that. And I always tell my guests, anything you say, if it's super personal, if you don't want it to reflect in your business, we can cut it out. I just believe in natural conversation.
Right.
Most of the time when I have an outline, most of the time when I have like a script or something I want to say, it never, ever goes that way, because we end up having conversation about something way off to the left.
Well, with Bumping Chops, I've got a pretty good flow of like kind of to cue Billy on to talk, because that was his biggest fear. He's like, I don't even know how I'm going to talk about stuff. It's like, well, that's why I'm going to be like, well, let's talk about this. And then it goes right to your brain. So that way he didn't have to worry about it. But like with you, like I don't even like doing intros for this, just because I want it to be as like casual as possible. I'd rather like, normally what I did was, have you ever seen Theo Vaughn's podcast?
No.
Okay, so Theo Vaughn's a stand-up comedian. At the very beginning of his episodes, he usually kind of like does a spiel about like who he's having on, like, and they're not even in the room with him. So this is usually after he's already recorded, so that way he can kind of give a lowdown of what happened. That's what I was starting to do, but then I started to ramble on too much. So the episodes ran like an extra 15 minutes. So I was like, no, I ain't doing that. And then I didn't want to do it. I didn't want it to sound like I don't know, I guess like a ring announcer, like, because I think that's kind of like bland and boring. So usually I started off with the story that I remember that person by. And then it tells a story to where like, oh, that can also be a clip or something like that down the road, to where like if it's a funny story, then that might gain some traction. But I've really gotten out of making shorts because it's so time consuming. It's like, oh man.
It is time consuming. I think you were doing really well, because for a little bit for Bumping Chops, you would post reels of the conversation, little clips and stuff. And I thought, I was like, all right, Bobby, good job. Like we're progressing.
I try to do it, but like
I
didn't want it to I guess give away too much. Like I was also trying to gain like people, oh, who do you think is going to be the guest? But then it's like, So, but there's really no good way of doing it. It's just when you find something, try something new every time is usually what I try to do. But like with certain episodes, it either hits really good, especially if you have like I don't know, what was the popular guest? Kane Carter. That was probably the most popular guest that we had on, just because of some of the sound bites that he had.
Yeah.
Like that was just probably one of the better ones, just because he's so unpredictable about what he's going to say.
He is so unpredictable. It's so funny because, like, I love King Carter. I've loved him since Justice for All last year, my first show. He came right up to my camera and he gave me that content, which I think is important for wrestlers to do. If any wrestlers are listening, give people that content because they post about it, they tag you in it, and it gives people to check it out and look at you more. I know wrestlers that walk on by and don't really engage with the crowd, but engage with the crowd because it makes people want to post about it, makes people talk about it, us being in that digital age. But like King Carter always gives me that content, and then he's such a can I cuss on here?
Yeah.
He's such an asshole. He's such a perfect heel. He gives me that Stone Cold Steve Austin vibes kind of heel and everything. And he's such a good heel. But when I had him come in and actually sit on with me on the podcast, he is so laid back, so chill, the sweetest guy. And he is so smart and so intellectual. And I think that's probably been my favorite thing with interviewing the wrestlers, because they play this persona, but they're really the sweetest pie or sweetest sugar, and they're really great people. Like Gavin
some of those
Bush,
you need videos on.
Yeah,
especially Kane. Like Kane is a much. I think if it wasn't for his video clips, not just the sound bites, I don't think you would have gotten the humor out of it. Like that's the good thing about video.
Yeah. You gotta find that good sweet spot. I mean, how are you? Because I know there's a few people that are like, people are craving to have on Bumping Chops, and I know it's all like up to Billy, but is there talks to have Gavin Bush and Jose on? Because I think those are the most loved ones ever.
Right, and I think that Billy's trying to get the ones that has been with him longer first, like their first like an opportunity. I know we've been working with Handgun Dan to try to get him on. And like certain things of like he got sick one episode, then we had the episode we were actually supposed to record and Billy had something go down, and then I had to like message him. I was like, "Hey, you good?" And he was like, "Oh shit, I forgot to message you." But that was where it first started. Now, like, I don't know if he's ever like, I guess, talked to anybody outside of like who he's gonna have on, but I know that he's messaged Cameron to be on next episode. Just so you know. Just so you know.
Her. You guys, I know for a little while I was like, Bumping Chops, stop stealing my guest list. Like literally.
He thought she was already on. I was like, dude, we haven't had her on.
You know, she's been someone I've talked to, but since she's returned, we haven't settled on a date for her to come on and everything.
And that's probably her hard thing, is scheduling a day to come into the studio. So like that's why probably this one's probably better. But she's going to be the next guest. I don't think he actually has like who he's going to have on every time, but I do know that he wants the people that, like, he wants the champions on to be able to, I guess, build their fan base, but he also wants the people who have been with him for a while. So he's had, Aaron Helms on. I mean, I think he was actually one of the, before you guys, he was our first wrestler that we had. Oh no, Drake Gallows episode 1.
Was.
So he has been with Billy forever.
Right. I know Drake was one of the first guests and then had us. So which makes me feel super honored that like Billy and you guys even like considered to have Team Same Name on, especially so early in your guys' like podcast career, and you guys have a whole waiting list of wrestlers who are begging to get on, and then we got on like 5th episode.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's ever asked him to be on, other than I think he got in touch with Brutal Bob Evans because he was promoting his class. I think that's one that reached out to him. But other than that, he just tells me who he's going to have on, and I send them the link. That's it.
Right. Yeah.
So, and then I prepare the episode by, if I know this guy, I'm going to ask him a handful of questions, but I don't want to, I guess, hijack the episode because it's Billy's show, first of all. But I'm just trying to cue questions for them to be able to bring up to Billy, especially like stories. Stories, I think, are the key thing behind wrestlers.
Oh, for sure. You have to kind of prompt the right story and kind of, don't want to say it's like a hand job, but kind of get it all set it up in the right way.
It's a little bit of foreplay, like mainly because Billy forgets a lot of things that happened, and I get why. I mean, yeah, he's been hitting the head with chairs and all this other stuff, but like his
God
biggest thing
bless
is like
him.
he doesn't know like what could be good content. Maybe I don't know. I mean,
Right.
he's gotten way better at it. Like just to have like because it shouldn't be, he shouldn't be focused about the content. He should be focused about who he's talking to. Like that's his whole
Right.
thing.
Right. And it went back again. And it's like so awesome that Billy saw something in Team Same Name to come in and like commentate when we had no idea. Like, we had no idea when we came on versus what I know today, like the magnitude and the stories and the buildups that have been placed for years. Like, I had no idea who Chance Kerrigan was, and he was undefeated and everything like that until after he came on my podcast. I had no idea that I was saying that Midwest Monster Blade was poo, knowing that he is one of the best and a long time Kansas indie wrestler. Like, I'm just going off, running my mouth and slamming tables, and people seem to like that. Like, thank you, and I appreciate you guys embracing the chaos. Like, it's just like I remember us talking about Kit, and I was like, I think Kit's this person, or Tommy Too Good is this person, but then a year later, I'm like realizing who these people are, and I'm just like, I love it. Like, it's a whole universe, and then diving into it and really knowing the whole world is so. It's like,
and like from your view, like you get to see the show like from the show aspect. I get a little look through this little slit in the curtain.
yes.
And then sometimes I get a look on the camera, but I mean, I sort of know what's going on just because like I get timing cues, and that's really all it is. So that's all I really care about is as long as I know when you want me to go out there and start talking and prepare me for like what's about to happen. So that way I can kind of feed into it. That's the biggest thing for me.
Do you know when people are going to grab your mic and stuff like that? Is that planned ahead, or is that usually very impromptu?
That all started with Aaron. So like, I did not know the very first, like I don't want to like force something to happen, especially in wrestling, because as a viewer, like somebody who watched a lot of wrestling, like I want to sell just as much as the wrestlers do. Like for the show aspect of it, like I either want to, like, I don't want to disrespect the wrestler because one, I never want to get hit by a wrestler or I guess embarrassed in the ring. So like, hey, tell me that you like, don't always tell me like what's going to happen, but for me to be prepared. So that way I'm like going in to give them the intro that they deserve. And then that way I'm selling it that way. So like, I don't want to just like pan over to them knowing that they're going to take it. I kind of want to be talking when they take it. Mm-hmm. So sometimes I ask him like, hey, are you going to take the mic? And he'll say no, but then he does take it. So I'm like, all right, that's probably better.
Yeah. It's a natural reaction.
Well, yeah. And that's what I want. Like, I don't ever want to like, I don't know. Like, I think I went to go hand Blade the microphone and I knew that he wasn't going to talk, but I went to go hand him the microphone just to fuck with Blade.
That was pretty fun.
And nobody could hear it.
Show?
Yeah, that was the last Wichita show.
Yeah.
So, and he couldn't, and you couldn't hear him. Nobody else could because I had the mic off, and he's like, hand the fucking mic to her. So I was like, all right. So I kind of like, I tried to do that, but I already messed up that spot anyways. And that's a whole different spiel anyways. But like little things like that, like I was just like, oh, but well, it was our first show back. What was that show? River City.
River City. Yeah. It was your first show back since hiatus. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like not in the rhythm. So like I got ahead of myself before that actual match. And yeah, like you guys weren't supposed to know it was a match until later on. So.
Oh.
But I called it out as a match, and I didn't realize it until I saw Blade walking around the car. I was like, oh, shit. So I was like, I'm going to hand him the mic. I'm going to see if he says anything. And he didn't, so it's all good.
Tips, like, I have to say it again, though. I love, like, my persona or, like, keeps it alive, but I hate Blade. But tips hat to Blade. Like, he's, like, still fighting and still going as hard as he does. And I think the reason I was so brave enough to like, you're poo, or talk mess to him is because I know who he is and he knows
Right.
who I am, and we're friends enough to bounce off each other and make it a cinematic moment for the audience that don't know and everything. But like the fact Tim Soft to Seventh Seal, Katie Grace doesn't belong there. She can't fight. She doesn't fight. Love her to death, but I mean,
She's a good, like, I think I've described her several times as the character. I mean, she's probably nowhere near as a badass as oh, what's her name from John Wick 3 or 4?
yes, I don't know.
Oh, Halle Berry. Have you ever seen John Wick?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's the one with the dogs, and like that's her job, is she releases the dogs on the people that they're going to attack.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know Mindy. I didn't know Katie Lynn before any of this. Like, I don't even think I saw her at one of Billy's get-togethers or anything like that. But
Yeah.
when I introduce, like, sometimes I forget to introduce her because I don't know if she even wants me to say her name. So it's just like, well, I guess I'll just do it this time.
Right. Yeah. And it's one of those things like Katie Lynn and then her persona, but then getting to know them outside or after the ring and on the podcast and everything. It's just so two different people. And I think that's one thing I love to get to know. Like Kargar and then Kargar being the helpful guy, like helping set up the ring. And it's two different
And let's
people.
talk about Kargar. That dude popped at the Salina show. Everybody loved that.
He sure did. He showed up, and that's something we've been waiting for. Like, we've missed Kargar. We've loved Kargar. And then him showing up, we're just like, we're
and
not
to come
worthy.
out in Remington Roars, Billy and I talked about it. Like, I think it goes to say like a lot for Kargar because Remington trusts him enough. He's like, hey, come out in my gear. Like,
there, yeah.
He put him over that way is what I kind of, I guess, hinted to is like, and I don't know if they actually like talk a lot to each other, but Remington is probably one of the coolest guys that I've ever talked to. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you got to watch that episode, but like,
yes, I
he's
did.
very Fabio / like,
yes.
50 Shades of Grey for some women, probably. It's like, oh no, you're good. I was waiting for you.
No, it's just the fact that you mentioned he's Fabio and very 50 Shades of Grey, because you guys, I believe that episode with Bumping Chops came out before February, and I wanted to have Remington on for my Valentine's Day episode, and I had all this like ideas in my head. I had him like holding a heart box of chocolate, blowing off like flower petals, and then he holds up the heart box and it's his face and stuff, and then he's like, it's like angry.
Like that could be a tag team with Remington Roar, Colt Kinnaman, like all the Fabio type dudes with hair. Yes. Like that could be like its own little like episodes, like the Fabio. I don't know. Call it the hair
Fabios.
Episode.
Trust Fabios or something like that.
I mean, and then when Chance, before he got his hair cut by Dan, like that was like I mixed him and Logan Knight up a lot.
Oh, Chance and Logan a lot?
Oh, they looked they could have been twin brothers with the long hair.
Yeah. I mean, Logan Knight and Chance, those are some special people. Like, it's like nice to, like, our HCW is already a wonderful universe to get involved in, but then you dive deeper and deeper, and then you just get to know these people that have such great and genuine hearts. It's like amazing.
And you don't want to ruin that kayfabe, like you said, and say something about it. It's like Remington was on here, and everybody saw how nice of a guy he was, but like you don't want to say it until after you know it's like, oh, it's cool, because like I'm not in that universe technically. Right.
When Logan was with Catherine and stuff like that, and they did their gender reveal, what was your vote on that?
I didn't have a vote. Like I thought that, but I also didn't know Catherine. I don't think I've ever spoke to Catherine before the show, to be honest. I don't go to the after party. Like that's, I mean, I got to get home. Like I'm ready for bed. By the time I get home, I'm zonked.
Yeah.
It's so like, it's overwhelming when you're there. And then once you actually start the show, the overwhelming part goes down because now you know what to expect. It's like you have all these people out here that are ready to hear what's going to happen or who's going to come out. But the heat in that room on the last show was like, I passed out probably an hour after I got home. I was,
and that was something we just that day we traveled home from Texas to visit family member. And when we came home and then we got ready and we went straight to the show and everything like that, just we were so depleted. I wasn't even sure if I was going to make it to see like Ray fight Hector, but I just kept saying, okay, 10 more minutes. Okay, 10 more minutes. And then once the fight starts, you can't stop. You're kind of just invested.
Right.
And I mean, it was worth it, but literally after that, I think I was one of the second people to leave out that door. Like, I was so tired and depleted.
I'm usually one of the first ones out just because I'm ready to get one. It's a 45-minute drive for me to get home, but like, really, like, that's for the wrestlers to have their time with the fans and all that other stuff. I say goodbye to Billy and a few other people, but I'm out. Like, I got other stuff that I got to do too. But when it came to the gender reveal, like, I really didn't have anything to guess. Like, I think I was more focused on, like, do I need to, like, I didn't even know what I was going to say until after I said it. Like, they didn't say what I was supposed to say. So all I wanted to know was who is team boy, who's team girl. And that was pretty simple. But Logan's an awesome human being, like one of the nicest guys that I've ever met. But like, also, like, I don't know. I didn't even know there was even a vote going on. Like, Billy and I never really talked about it. So.
Yeah, it was like, of course, there's only can be one or two ways, but like everyone's like boy, girl. I was set on being a girl, but who was representing the girl, I refused to root for.
And that sort of also kind of was foreshadowing a little bit. Like, has Gavin won a match? I mean, that was my question. I don't know if he's won a match yet or not. Like, legitimately.
Yeah, no, probably not legitimately. I think the only match he has won was against Dutch, and he did the spray in the face and everything. Yeah. And I think he won against Calvin with a mirror hit too, and Calvin got his revenge.
Well, he knocked him out of the Royal Rumble is what it was. He hit him over the head with that and flipped him over, I think, wasn't it? So, yeah. I mean, that right there if you really think about it, if Gavin hasn't won yet, like, why would he win that match? I mean, granted, Logan, I think, knew Colt more. If you want to do a deep dive about it, he knew Colt Kinnaman more, I think, and longer.
Right.
So yeah, I wonder if that had anything to do with it. I don't know.
Logan did mention on Calling All Sassos that he, like, kind of helped train Gavin and Colt. So that's why it's like it was kind of symbolic to him because it was both his babies fighting
and I knew he didn't know
his baby. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I think if you probably wanted to, like, I guess, break the match apart, especially with the way Billy does things, like, not many new wrestlers get over right away. Like, one of the earliest ones, I think, was probably Jose Gerardo. I mean, winning the Independence title. But I really had no thought about it. I was just like, when I'm there, I need to focus on two things: saying the names right, and I still mess that up sometimes, and getting out what I need to get out. So, even when it comes to matches, I don't ever try to guess who the thing is. You either tell me who it's going to be, like sometimes he does, but other than that, I don't care about anything else because I need to focus on saying the right things.
Gotcha. So you don't know any of the outcomes that will happen. You're pretty much tell me how to say the name and where I need to speak, and that's it.
I wouldn't say that. I do know. I would say 85% of the time I know the outcome of the match, except for that gender reveal. Nobody knew it. Yeah. Except for the two wrestlers and the ref. So if I really want to know, I can ask. Sometimes he doesn't know until the very last second, so I just leave it blank. But I usually want to know, so that way if I can't see the camera, sometimes they forget to ring the bell, I want to be able to say it. So, yeah, I do ask sometimes, especially when it's a big match, because that back room gets crowded around that camera and I can't see everything.
What match are you most excited for? Like, are you for next weekend? Like, are you personally? I know as a fan, probably a little different and everything, but are you personally involved in any of the matches or storylines?
No, I'm never. I told Billy that I don't want to ever be. I don't want to try to turn into anything. This is all I want to do. So don't try to bring me into any storylines. That's one thing that I don't want to do. But like when it comes to like one that I'm anticipating, like I think the triple threat main event is probably a big one, just because of I mean, you've got 3 big names going for the Heartland title, but also who was that? I thought that they were supposed to have the tag team match for the for
Only
Logan's.
Friends.
Yeah, but that's I don't know if that's actually he didn't say, but I also didn't ask, so I guess I didn't get clarification on that. So I don't know.
Oh yeah, because Logan did cash that in and everything like that.
I just don't know if it's going to take place that show or the next one, so I don't know.
Gotcha.
But there's a lot of there's every show they put a title up, so I think that's really cool. What is the other? He announced so many of them. I still haven't even gotten to edit the video, so that's what I'm doing after this. But
it's so cool that you get to do that.
Oh yeah, like it's fun to hear like what's going to happen, but I never want to know until like the day of the show. Like he doesn't ever tell me anything that's about to happen. Like with Mindy, I had no idea. Like that was wild.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, and then she came up to me in the back. I was like, what the hell?
Right. You're like, you forgot cowboy hat?
I was like, put something on, please.
I know. She's looking great. Her and Chance are looking great. I know they're trying really hard to get in good physique for their wedding, and they're both looking amazing. I don't know. I've always loved a good baby face turning heel. So I loved it when Chance became Diablo Blanco. And then I just love Mindy Grace being a heel. I think she was meant to be a heel and everything.
Who do you want to see turn heel?
Who?
Who would you want to see turn heel that's not heel yet?
Oh, a baby face turn heel.
Doesn't even have to be a baby face, just a tweener or something like that. That's like a Kargar. Like we don't really know what he is, or I don't know. I asked Billy on the last episode, like who does he think they could play both sides of the line no matter what? Yeah. He brought up what's his name? The one from ACFC, not Tommy, but Austin Reddick. Yeah, and that I mean,
and Austin took off the bandana.
Yeah, did he take it off or did it fall off?
Yeah, I think he whipped it off, if I believe, or did it fall? I don't. You know what? It happened so fast, and as soon as I saw I tried to grab my phone and like turn on the camera, and it was back on.
Whoever got that bandana, like, could turn it in for something. Like that should be a title run. Hey, I got his bandana. I want a shot at this title.
Right. The person that I don't know, I would be like turning heel. Maybe it's not turning heel, but I would really like. I know Only Friends are on a good track and a good vibe, but I would really, really love to see if they have to give up, they win the tag team titles, or if they lose it, one of them turns on each other and gets really upset and displeased with the other or something like that. I think, or if like Simon, because Simon has had his mask fall off and it's been a little rocky road. He's realized he's not the same person when his mask falls off and everything. I think the best corruption is internal corruption instead of someone coming in and like trying to change their mind or anything. If something happens internally,
like something within the seventh seal.
Yeah, something within the seventh seal, or if
could you imagine if Katie Lynn flipped?
Yeah.
Whoa.
I think if Simon turns it back on Katie Lynn or something like that, or like, I don't know, Kargar. I don't know.
Kargar would be weird. So much.
Kargar. Well, I feel like there's some tension happening between Kargar and Simon. So if Kargar is able to, if anyone would be surprised, Kargar is able to corrupt Seventh Seal, like, you go, boy.
And that dude, he took a bad bloodbath from Blade.
Yes, he did. It's one of those, like, you have to tip your hats off because I have this, like, I don't think it's sexual, but maybe. I have this fantasy to be thrown through. I have this fantasy to be thrown through a table, but these people who don't, like, the ladder match that happened a while back and everything, the first opening match and at Legacy and everything, these people are throwing their bodies physically into such very dangerous territories. And I know most of it is kind of planned out, but you can't plan out gravity. You can't plan out certain
Right.
aspects of it. It happens, and you have to go with it or try to protect yourself the best way you can. But sometimes it's too fast, and we've
Oh,
seen
there's been
wrestlers
so many
hit their
times where I
weight.
was like, oh my God. Like with
Right.
Jose, he got caught in the ropes a couple times. I think Tommy
Mm-hmm.
got caught in the ropes one time. It's like,
Yes.
whoa, dude, you're making my heart stop. So please stop.
Right. I'm never hesitant to write out, "We are nervous," or like,
Right.
or you
Yeah,
like
that was like
yell
probably
out.
the best place. No, what was it? It was this is stressful with the
Oh,
gender reveal.
I said, this is torture. Like,
Yeah.
this is torture. And then, hats off to Gavin Bush, who like improvised and ran right up to me and said, "You being here is torture." I was like, "Trust me, I know it." Trust me. But like, it's just amazing how much people dedicate like their bodies and their strengths and their minds just to entertain us. Like, how can you not love and appreciate that? And the price you get, like, come on, like the price we're giving is like they're probably making pennies to do what they're doing for us. It's like, how can you not respect the arts of that?
Right. And like when it comes to like people have asked me, it's like, oh, do you do wrestling? No, I got bills and shit. Like I ain't gonna get hurt
Never,
for that.
never, never.
Never.
You
Nah,
wouldn't take a little clothesline from like Aaron Helms or anything?
nah, there's nothing that would justify me to want to ever do anything like that again. Like
See?
backyard football, I'm like, no.
So when Billy was building that wrestling in his backyard, you never participated in that?
Oh yeah, I did like when I'm saying when I was younger, I did some stupid stuff, but like there's no need to put my body through that, especially when I got things that I got to take care of outside of there. I'm not making a living doing the wrestling thing. I'm not ever going to try to make the living, so I want nothing to do with it except for what you need me to do.
Well, you work at the prison, right? At the correctional facility.
Yeah.
So I'm sure and you said you're like a fitness coach there?
No, I do the sports and activities. So I'm like the athletic director. So I set up all their intramural sports. I do all their, I buy all their equipment. So if I think that this would do well within the, I guess, program, then I'll purchase it and just little things like that.
Gotcha. Okay. I was supposed to say, like, you probably put your body enough because I know just being in there in general can be dangerous and putting your body at risk.
Yeah. I mean, I think that, if I walked in with a boot because I did something stupid in wrestling, like, they wouldn't let me go into work. So I would have to use my vacation and so on. But, like,
that's not worth it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, like, if you need me to actually do something, like, we can work something out, like, where I don't actually have to get put through a table or clotheslined. Yeah, give me a little slap. I'll take a slap if I know it's coming. Like, don't surprise me with it because that's just like, oh, I think I might snap. I don't know. I've never hit anybody on purpose, but reactions. Who was the one? Who's the chick that crawls? The marionette.
Oh my gosh, I remember her name.
Damn.
I know she Mindy took the belt from her, had to fight for the belt.
There was no. She won the belt because it was up in the air still because Heidi had to relinquish it.
I don't know her name,
it was,
but I know who you're talking about. Yeah, the creepy girl. That's what I call her. I'm gonna
be but yeah, she like I didn't know anything about her like moniker or anything like, and she crawled up to me like a demonic thing, like out of reaction at the prison. It's like you don't like get in my bubble unless I invite you into my bubble. Like, give me a little warning. So, like, as long as I don't throat chop you, like, I'll hit somebody that comes into my bubble that I didn't invite into it. But little things like that, I was like, man, at least warn somebody.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, who would you be willing to take a slap from, and who would you like to clothesline, or if you could give a reaction to? Who would you like to knock out?
I would take a slap from Blade just because I know who he is.
Naturally.
I would. I think that if it actually helps portray anything, I think I would do anything for that. But I'm not going through a table. Like that day, I won't show up that day. But like, I would love to just have like there's been a few times where I've held my tongue like on the mic just to like, because I'm used to being that quick-witted, the banter and stuff like that, talking shit. Aaron, like whenever he says like whenever he speaks into the mic, I just want to say, so like one of these times I want to say, well, let me do it so all of them, so everybody can actually hear what you're saying. just something like that.
Yeah.
It's like nobody can hear anything that you're saying out of that microphone.
Right. And Eric's becoming that heel since he lost the belt. He's becoming that heel where everyone, like Dominic Mysterio, will just kind of boo him and we can't hear him. We're like, we're going to just boo you because we prefer to hear ourselves over you. You're trash. Right. Kind of thing.
But not because I actually have hatred towards him, just because it's like some of those quick-witted like comebacks. It's like, oh, you want to talk shit? Here you go. But nothing there's nothing. One, because I've got to focus on other stuff. It's like if I've got to focus on that and the other shit, it's like, oh no. It's like, yeah. So you're going to set me up to where I've got to slap this dude in the face. I don't think I want to have that pressure on me. I'm just saying.
I want that pressure. I don't know. I think everyone needs to lose their shit a little, and I'm ready for Bobby Casey to lose his shit a little.
I throw enough shade at Dickie, I think enough in the like I barely say his name. I'm like, oh yeah, he's with Dick Richards, and then like there's no point of even saying his name.
And it's so funny with like I love a good heel and I love booing him. Then I also love being like at the Salina show, I was like, Dickie, I think you're just misunderstood. I think you need love. And he was like, thank you. I was like, it's okay, Dickie. I get you. You suck, but I get you. And it's just kind of throwing people off. I think that's my favorite part with the wrestlers too. Just kind of throwing them off and trying to be combative. Like, I think I threw off Bruisador when I shook his hand at the Salina show. And
I tried to get Bruisador to go up and kiss Jay with his mask on. But I don't know if
that would be amazing. I think Jay would blush.
Oh, right. It's like I hope Jay wears his mask that day. It's like I don't think that he's going to know what to do. He's going like, oh, we're not worthy. We're not worthy.
And Mason Cooley, he has mentioned that it's just so fun working with the wrestlers, but with the like Bruisador who often wears a mask, and they'll come up to him and they're like, oh, I need to go shave my beard first and everything like that. And they're like, who is that? And they're like, it's Luchador. Like, it's so funny seeing him with no mask and then mask. Like, with Angel, I figured out who, it turns out I've seen Angel's face months before I realized it was the same person after his accident and everything like that. And I was like, oh, that's, wow.
And Angel, he's like one of the nicest guys I've ever met too. That goes to like, I think the only time that I've ever actually had a one-on-one conversation with him outside of like calling his matches was at the Wichita, like the tattoo convention.
Expo, yep.
So like that's the one time that I actually got to actually have like, I don't know how you want me to say that because I can't pronounce Spanish shit with like rolling my R's and stuff. That ain't gonna happen. Yeah. I was like, if you want somebody else to do it, you might want to ask somebody now.
Right. And it was, I know that's when, because I was there at the Tattoo Expo and I was just taking all these pictures. And then when Angel came on Bumping Chops and he talked about he's the owner of Skill, I was like, wait a minute, the owner of Skill announced with Billy at the tattoo. Hold on. I went back through the photos like, holy,
he had his mask off? I thought it was on.
His mask was off at the very beginning.
I thought it was on. Okay.
It was off at the very beginning. Him and Bobby.
But his accent is so thick.
Yes. But yeah, and then I didn't put it together because when he came out with his mask on with Bruisador, I didn't put it together. That's the same guy that just came out and introduced Skill and everything. Right. So that didn't get put together until months later. I was like, and then recently, I think his lady Ann posted a photo like of them, and I was like, "Yep, that's him."
Yeah, a lot of those pictures, he has this mask on still. Like, I don't know if they were like, I thought they were engagement photos at first. He's like doing that Spider-Man pose, like where he's upside down.
Yeah,
and she just pulled down his mouth, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, I thought they were already engaged. So
I thought they were married.
Yeah. So when she posted that we're engaged this past 4th of July, which congratulations. But when they posted that they were engaged, I was like, oh, I thought this was already did and done. Fun.
I think
But
that's also like the culture that they're in too. Like anybody that like if they're with a woman, like they're pretty. I mean, they
yeah,
speak of their woman that they're with as if they're their wife. So I don't know.
exactly.
Maybe that
And
might
they've
be
been
why I thought it.
Yeah, and they're very loyal. Like they were even at the tattoo expo, you could tell they were super in love, and you're like, "Oh, this is great, such a wonderful relationship." But when God bless it, when Angel had his accident, I think that was one of the many things that kind of reminded HCW like these are people too, and we can come together to support
Right.
our people, support your people, kind of vice versa and everything.
Yeah, I
So
think
I'm
that
glad that
I mean, a lot of HCW wrestlers go to Dodge City for those shows too. I think
yeah,
so.
especially skill. Skill is something I really want to get more involved in and everything like that. There, it's just a great show, and that's something I love because I've seen Chance and Ray. Like I came in when Ray was a baby face and everything like that, and defeating the Empire. But when at the Tattoo Expo, it was like one day it was part time HCW and part time Skill. So seeing Chance and Ray like both be heels and everything like that was just like, oh, the world is perfect. Like
Was
seeing
he
that
already a
thing.
babyface when you did Justice for All?
Yeah, when I
Because I
came
know he
in,
lost, or no,
yeah,
he beat Blade, and then I didn't know when it was. It's been a minute though.
I never seen Blade until he started going against with Chance Kerrigan. The first time I ever seen Blade was at the Red Kettle Rumble and everything like that. Or when Blade came in the month before of that in December. But the first show I came in, Ray was fighting Aaron Helms for the first time, and Drake invaded that fight and everything,
Oh
and that's when it
wow.
started becoming a
Okay.
triple thing.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's been a minute.
That was a year ago, yeah, and this next weekend is gonna be 1 year, and I don't
And that was
even
right
know,
after we started the podcast.
yeah,
Because that was how that's how we introduced Drake onto because he was episode 1. So man, time
yeah,
flies.
yeah, right, how much has changed in a year, like, a year ago, I was, going on date night with my husband and everything like that, and now I'm divorced from the husband, and I'm on my
Yeah, that was
own, but
wild. I mean, I was just
yeah,
like, oh, okay. Billy had said something. And he goes, I
right,
don't think that they're like, I was like, okay. Like, I don't
right.
Facebook stalk people though either. So I was like, I would have never had any idea.
Yeah. I mean if anything, I don't know, a lot of people reached out to me, especially in the HCW community, saying like Jeff and Chase and everything reached out like when I divorced my first wife, this is what happened. This happened. So it turns out that it's a lot more common than normal, but honestly, like I've heard horror stories of people getting divorced and that was not the case for me. We I mean, it's not something that anyone loves to do or it's not something anyone plans to do when they get married, but if I were to give my divorce a rating, I would say a C or a B. Like we did it amicably, but we did it nicely.
Right.
And then we did it and we're able I mean, we don't talk anymore, but we're able to give it to each other civilly where we're there's no hate, there's no bitterness. I
And
can,
those are the ones that usually end badly, are the ones that like you ended it because of spite or something happened like out of
exactly.
nowhere. So like it was like a slow building process probably.
Right. And it's not like the reason we separated wasn't for like a nice reason. We separated for a good reason, but I think we just knew, like I said on my podcast, that we were just not meant to be a team anymore. I
Right.
do wish him the best, and I think he's the greatest person ever. If he ever did, there was a time that I thought I saw him at an HCW show, and I almost lost my shit. I was like, "Is that you?" Like, and I would totally welcome him. He can totally come back. I know he loved the universe as much as I did, but I think he just naturally knew that this is my territory. Like, I'm going to continue to be here, and I have the podcast to interview people. But I mean, he's a great person. He's funny. He's awesome. Great dad, and I wish him nothing but best. But I
And
think
that's probably another reason. Like if you didn't have all those thoughts, it probably would not have ended so good.
Exactly. So, I mean, wish him nothing the best. Div- I wish him nothing the best, and I wish anyone that is going through a divorce gets it the way I got it because it was so it hurt. There's emotions, of course. It devastated me, but it didn't break me, which is fine, perfect.
But what else do you have going on? So, like, you've got wrestling. I mean, you have wrestling. You've also got business
Yeah,
owners. Like, what other things do
yeah.
you want to venture into with the podcast? So, like, who else do you want to talk to? I guess who would also be like
So
maybe
much.
your I don't know, your canary in the mind. I guess you will.
So many people. I just think hosting conversations is the best part. One thing I did with the first time I was on Bumping Chops, I threw this out there, but of course in October I'm having my true crime series, and I'm going to be. Um, Last year was about my hometown or surrounding cities around my hometown in Texas, but this year I'm diving into the Wichita scene. So I've been reaching out and connecting with people. I'm sure you're familiar with Tanya's Soup Kitchen.
Yeah, she was. I was actually, I think, working. I What year was that?
It was 10 years ago, so 2015.
Oh, okay, so I just came back to the prison, but like I think I knew of Tanya's Soup Kitchen. It was Tanya's. Was it called Tanya's Soup Kitchen?
Mhm. Mhm.
I knew of the restaurant owner. Like I used to work at St. Joseph Hospital in the mental health unit, so like
Oh,
a lot of
okay.
those names, like I know, like when Dr. Reddy got attacked. I mean, Dr. Reddy's like attack was pretty hard on the nurses that I worked with because they dealt with him a lot on the phone. They would call in and talk, and then he got attacked by one of his patients, and then that
Oh,
patient
I need to
ended up
invest
being,
in that.
huh?
I need to invest in that story.
Yeah,
That's
and
a
the
good
guy that
one.
attacked him is now at the prison that I work at. So it's pretty wild.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I need to invest in that. Like, there's a couple stories that are happening, but because I found a fascination with small businesses, I was really fascinated by Tanya because she got murdered like 10 years ago at the beginning of last month and everything. And the way she got murdered was pretty crazy, but it was pretty vague. And I deep dived into her Facebook page, and I found friends that are connected to her, and I have actually found people that are willing to meet with me and talk to me a little more about what she was going through and everything. I don't know if you know much of the story, but essentially, she had a roommate that was living down in the basement, and he ended up murdering her. And
Oh
it was
wow,
in a way where it was presented in a way like they were dating, but friends and family said they were never dating, but he believed they were dating.
that's
So,
some like what was that show that was on Netflix? I just rewatched it too.
oh,
Oh man,
so many.
well no, it's
Oh,
the one show when they talk
the
about all these.
reindeer? Is it
No,
Baby Reindeer? Oh,
I haven't seen that one. No, this one's actually like every episode starts off with a BTK like interlude,
oh,
and then it goes into
oh,
like how it's how they started the BAU in the FBI. So that's what the show's about.
oh,
What's it called? It's
I have no
they
idea.
interview all these serial killers to be able to profile a murderer. That's
Oh,
man. I just
you'll have
finished
to
watching
send
that
me
too.
that. Yeah, look
They
it up
stopped
real
watching
quick.
it. Everybody lost their shit. Netflix show about serial killers. It
That's going to
is
be a big list.
Mindhunter.
Mindhunter. I've never seen
Yeah.
that. I haven't watched that.
Oh man. Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna have to watch it.
It's a show like I can't believe they're not doing it anymore. And like if they are going to do it, we have no idea when it's going to come out. But like it's you've seen Criminal Minds, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, so it's essentially how Criminal Minds got started. This is
Oh,
the foundation of how they came up with a profile for certain types of serial killers.
I love that. Well, because I'm pretty intrigued by that because like I did go to school to study like forensic psychology. I never went to get my master's, but I got into my bachelor's of psychology, a focus in forensics and everything. And it's just crazy. And I don't know, it's a weird topic to say, but I feel like every time when people talk about serial killers, they're like, he was a monster. He was a, I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, that's a little harsh. Can we
And
just
most of
try
the
to
time, they're not even
understand them?
monsters. You don't know that they're a serial killer until after they killed somebody.
Right.
So
Right.
that's how
And
they
then,
became a serial killer. Is like they got into the lives of them by like acting like the best human being possible. So
it's just, I don't know. So, and that's what makes me, because we enjoy these topics of serial killers and everything like that. So that's why, like, I put my podcast name for October. It's like relaxing to murder and everything. So it's just kind of funny how people kind of genuinely end up relaxing or can decompress to listening to these true crime
yeah, I
stories.
can't do that.
It's
Mainly
just
because
so
like I think
fun.
I've dealt with too much of the crazy. So
That's
like
true. You're in a
I
different
mean,
world of it.
I can't talk about it because of HIPAA stuff when I worked at the assessment center, but like the things that I would see that came in, it was so bizarre. Like
I'm sure.
it
I
was
don't doubt
wild.
that.
And that's the
Some people
downfall.
get
Like
a little too
you
close.
can't tell those stories if you worked in the hospital because that's a HIPAA
Yeah,
violation.
of
And there's
course.
so many stories. I could write a book if I really wanted to go against the, I guess, medical care, Rights Act or whatever it is
Right,
that they
right.
have. So
Yeah, and some people who are a little too close are like can't they can't relax to it because it's their everyday or they get too close to it but people who are just like the common folk who sit at home and like can only think about serial killers and stuff like that and don't have to interact with them, it's a
well, I
different
work with
level.
them, so like that's probably
Yeah.
another reason why I can't talk. I mean, and I don't know if they were serial killers, but they have a lot. I would say over half of them have probably killed somebody.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And I'm sure, like, if you could say or not, and we can cut this out if you want, but
oh,
like, I'm sure, like, some of those people that you've interacted with can seem so sweet, and you're like, you killed someone. Has there been any shock value in meeting someone and realizing what their crime was?
I think the weirdest one was like I didn't know who he was probably the Dr. Reddy guy, the guy that killed Dr. Reddy, and
Uh huh.
then also the guy that killed Dr. Tiller. There in Wichita. So like he's been in our prison for several years. I don't think I've had anybody as detail. So like I'm not. I mean I don't look people up to find out like what they did. But like I hire so many different people. Like I've got people that have lived in Wichita that have worked for me like as a detail like within my department. But I would say the weirdest one that was probably the Dr. Tiller guy and also the guy that killed Dr. Reddy. That was a little. It's like whoa,
Whoa.
that's that because I don't remember them physically, but I've
Uh
had a
huh.
lot of patients at the hospital that I also have seen as inmates. So it's pretty weird.
It's it's just like, I mean, I honor you for being able to work in the prison system. Something I always wanted to be able to do is when I went to college to study forensic psychology, I wanted to be able to go talk to inmates and like diagnose them or get them ready for trial. Or I wanted to study interrogation theories to make sure what the officers were doing was legal or rightful to use in the court of law. So it's one
Right.
of those things like I've always been very intrigued by it. It takes thick skin, it takes a different mindset, and it takes, I'm sure, I mean, how do you not carry that at home at night sometimes?
Oh, I forget that I work there. I'll be dead honest. Like I forget. It's like I don't want to hear. The only time that I don't is if I have something that goes on in my department. I don't want to know anything about the prison system itself. But like if it has something
Gotcha.
to do with my apartment, that's the only time in my department is the only time I ever think about it. But
Gotcha.
as an
Okay.
officer, yeah, like you'll hear stupid stuff. You'll hear people that are threatening me, and like you come up with those quick comebacks or whatever it is, and like you've got people that have threatened to kill you and stuff like that. It's like, oh, I guess you're gonna make my niece really rich. Like,
Hmm.
but like little things like that never bothered me. I worked in segregation for 2.5 years. Like, so like dealing with psychotic people is, I mean, I don't know if I'm attracted to it or if it's attracted to me because after I left the prison, the first time I went to the hospital there at St. Joseph Hospital, I became a registrar. So what I did is I was in the emergency services and we would go around to get all their insurance information. So that's how
Uh-huh.
I mean, That's what I left the prison to go do that. And then an instance happened in the emergency room to where like the mental health department said, "Hey, are you looking for a different job?" And that's working with like, cause I chased somebody down and somebody saw that. And I didn't hurt the guy. I just stopped him from leaving the hospital because he wasn't allowed to leave. And it was one of the mental patients. So they were like, "Hey, how would you feel about coming over to our department?" And it was like a $10 or $15 pay increase. So I was like, "Sure." And I was and then after that, like it was a fun job. But then when you're fighting every hour on the hour for 12 hours. So like, that's like an underpaid MMA fighter is not what I signed up to do. So then I went back to the prison. And since I've been back at the prison since 2015, I think I've laid hands on 3 people in the 10 years I've been back. So like, it's pretty wild.
I mean, must be very fight or flight mode and stuff like that. So tip your hat to any not getting hurt during that and having to put hands on the crazy.
Yeah, I've never been hurt that I can think of, but my last shift at the hospital is when actually somebody touched my face and like I blacked out. Like he like hit my lip and I blacked out. Boom.
And then you blacked out because you were responding back.
Yeah, I mean, like when people get loud, like when I was in the assessment center, you lost your respective space. So I get way closer to you, so that way you can't hit me or anybody else that's in the room. So the second you move, I'm gonna move too, and I can't actually do anything until the nurse tells me to, but I can react to something if somebody's going to be in harm's way. So the second your voice raises, your space gets really small. And I'm not a big guy, but I have wrestled. So I'm not going to fight you, but I'll take you to the ground until the nurse tells me, "Oh, I can strap you to this bed." And that's usually what happens. But it was always more like, if I'm not close, like what could this guy do? If he could fight, I have no idea. I can't fight. I'm not a boxer. I'm not an MMA fighter, but I'll take you to the ground and you won't get away from me. I'll tell you that.
Gosh.
Pretty wild.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. And I mean, if you do get hurt in situations like that, do they cater to you? Does the prison cater to you and take care of you, your health wise and all that stuff?
If it's at work and like workman's comp is where that falls under, but luckily I've never had to deal with that. Oh man. I mean, other people have gotten hurt and like they're gone a lot. There's several people that have gotten hurt several times. I mean, knock on wood, I've been blessed to not get hurt at all. But I'm sure it could happen at any second.
Right.
I've seen wild stuff happen. Billy
got hurt.
Yeah, he got hurt with his knee. So like it wasn't like I don't think an inmate was involved. I'm sure that he has been involved with inmate confrontation. But I think he actually hurt his knee like while he was doing work as a master sergeant. So I'm not actually sure about how that happened, but I do know that he hurt his knee while he was at work.
Gotcha.
So I don't think that he's ever actually needed to be in confrontation. I mean, he's a big much significantly bigger guy, but the inmates, like, I don't know, when you were there long enough, you develop a rapport with them. So like mainly the ones that actually attack you are the ones that are fairly new or they're trying to, I guess, get out of the general population to go to segregation.
Gotcha.
So if he was going to get attacked, it wouldn't be by somebody he knew very well, I don't think. But yeah, it could happen. But from what I've seen and probably what he's seen, I've never seen that happen. Not to us, of course.
I mean, we talked about true crime some, but how do you feel about those shows like 60 Days In, where they have normal population people going into the prisons to pretend to be a prisoner and everything?
Well, I think those are actually undercover cops.
Well, some are not undercover cops. Oh. Some have been, and some are just like, I'm an engineer. Some are like, I'm a contractor. Like, some are different variety of jobs. I know there has been one that's like, there are officers and everything. And she was an officer and she went in, and as soon as she got out, she quit being an officer because she didn't like sending people there. She didn't. So she quit her job as being an officer. I think it depends
on where you're going. So like if you're an LA officer or you go into an LA prison, so like those prison systems are completely different than Kansas. Like Kansas prison is going to be night and day different. Texas, same thing. Like Texas,
Yeah,
I
Mexico.
think their prison system is more respected than some of their other law enforcement officers. So I
Mm.
think it depends on what prison system you go to and also what prison you go to. So like if it's a federal prison, I think that you're going to get a different, I guess, story or outline about how prison goes, because a federal prison isn't anywhere close to a state prison because they didn't break a state crime, they broke a federal crime. So they call
Fair
it
enough.
club fed. I know when you go to prison in a federal prison, but I've got no problem with it. I mean, I can't watch those anymore just because, like, I'm sure you've seen Locked Up.
Yeah.
If you look at Locked Up and then you looked at Working Where I Work, nothing like that.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, Locked Up that's the one on Netflix, right?
I don't know if it's on Netflix, but it was the one that they had where they had they just would videotape inside of the prisons of, like, I guess high violence and all this other stuff. Now,
Gosh,
I don't believe that any of them were like choreographed or anything like that, but like they're going into the most dangerous prisons for a reason, because they want to find out why it's dangerous. You can't say that about all of the prison systems, and that's where I guess the flaw is, because not every prison system is like that. Have you ever seen Oz growing up? Because you and I are about
yeah.
the same age, right?
Yeah. Well,
So I'm 37.
Oh, I'm 34. So yeah, close
Okay.
to it. Close enough.
But you've seen Oz?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you look at Oz and you think that's the prison system, then you're completely miseducated and all this other stuff, because that's nothing like what a prison is. Maybe in Mexico, maybe in a third world country.
Right.
But if there's a death or a raping happening every hour on the hour, like, that prison would not be open. I'll tell you that.
Right.
So that's the difference.
There's a lot of like misconceptions about how prison life is, with either its reality show or the scripted shows on Netflix, like Orange is the New Black or 60 Days In. It's crazy. I mean, I'm glad nothing that you've seen is similar to what you actually go through.
Prisons is hard. Prison will be as hard as you as the person working there and the inmate makes it. So, like, if the inmates wanted to do something, they could at any time. But it all depends on who's working there too. But like, if you want to go in to cause, I guess, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that there are those people that mentally go, "Oh, I'm going to make this day a living hell for a human being." Those are the ones that either A, get hurt really early on, or get somebody else hurt, and they get washed out pretty quick. So,
do you feel that prisons are lacking the rehabilitation process? There's some prisons that are working on being like people who have killed people and were put in awful situations and young, and it was like they were doomed to go to prison, but prison is their only chance to actually rehabilitate and become a civil citizen of society. Do you feel your prison implement some rehabilitation, or is it just to keep them captive until it's their due date to get out?
I think first it starts with, does the inmate want rehabilitated, first of all? So, like, if the inmate never wants to be rehabilitated, or say their mental health is what's hindering them from being rehabilitated, I think that's where you're going to start at. But I think that I don't want to say this for the entire state of Kansas, but I have seen to where we, I guess, almost we set them up for failure by putting them on this schedule to be out at this time, to eat at this time. They get these certain call outs. They have the right to do all of these certain things. And then when they get put out into society, it's like none of that actually happens when you're out on your own. Like, you needed the prison system to do that for you. So, I mean, I think that we have weaknesses, but I do believe that there are people that can change, but those are the people that want to change first.
Fair enough.
So yeah. I don't want to say that we are flawed as a, I guess, Department of Corrections, but I do think that we do have our weaknesses. One, we're hiring younger people. So, like, to tell somebody to have control over almost a whole cell house at the age of 18 and telling a grown man who's murdered several people, or a grown man who's lived life and they're 50 some years old, like that right there is sort of like a miscommunication thing right there. Like, you're not going to you're not going to get any rehabilitation with her. You're either going to get a power struggle or you're going to get somebody who's going to start trying to, I guess, get that officer to do something that they shouldn't be doing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense.
Yeah. But I do think prisons can be helpful. And I think, but it starts with A, who you have working there, and B, like, does that person actually want to change?
Fair enough.
I mean, that's not, I mean, I'm not going to talk down on it because I work there too, but like, I do have my beliefs that things don't work the way that they could or way that they should. But I think that's every organization and every business out in society too. So,
right. There's always room for improvement, no matter what. There's always room for improvement.
Yeah. But no, I've never been ashamed of telling people about prison or anything like that, but I do, like, I don't want anything to do with it when I'm at home. Like, that's probably the biggest, that's probably why the biggest reason why I don't stress out about work. It's like, I don't even want to think about it.
You work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5?
I work, I'm off Sunday, Mondays. I work Tuesday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Gotcha. Okay. Wow.
So the biggest thing about where I'm at is, like, there's a ton of people out there at once. So if something was going to happen, it could happen. I mean, that's the downfall about working out there. But like I said, I think the time that somebody works there and the rapport they have with certain people, especially somebody who's also been in prison forever, like, you're going to have a much better outcome if you have the regular person working there. And we have so many new faces coming in, and that's where, if they don't know how the prisons, not the prison system, but how our system works on a day-to-day basis, that's where you're going to run into, I guess, roadblocks and issues like that, because these guys are so set on a schedule for their way.
Right.
And that's where they get set up for failure in that point, because, like, when you go out to real life, like, life isn't going to be able to have, like, all these, they're not going to be able to redo it. It's like, oh, well, I'll let you out for this yard, even though you didn't get a yard earlier this morning, and so forth. So,
how do you, because you mentioned you have to build rapport. How do you build rapport with criminals where you're unsure if they're taking advantage or if they're being genuine?
And that's where I think another reason why I think I've been, I guess, good, like, I've had good luck with. I've never been approached to bring contraband in or anything like that. To have a good rapport, I think, in the prison is, like, as long as you were consistent with how you either say no to certain people. So, like, you know what you should or shouldn't be allowing in your cell house, like when you run a cell house.
Right.
As long as you're consistent with that, the inmates are going to see that. And everybody's going to say, oh, yeah, you're not going to be able to get out. Like, oh, I'm going to try. Okay, well, I'm telling you, like, you're probably not going to get out to use the phone, even though you think you're going to try. But I think that, like, when you have an officer who is brand new, they're going out of their way to try to find something to write somebody up for.
Yeah.
Like, which is a DR or a ticket in the real world. That's where I think another thing, like, oh, I'm going to inmates lose respect for those people because they're going out of their way to do it. Now, if there's a fight that happens, I'm going to write that person up for fighting. Like, that's my job. But I'm not going to go out of my way to write you up for passing a bag of Cheetos to your cellie. I'm just going to take that from you and then give you a shakedown sheet. Like, I'm not going to go out of my way to write you up. Like, that's other little things. There's little things that you can do to deviate from either somebody putting a target on your back or somebody to have respect for you in the long run.
It sounds more like kind of have mutual respect. Like, I mean, I'm not going to let you, like, get away with stuff, but I'm not going to also be a dick to you and write you up for anything. I mean, I'm not going to show I'm big Roadhouse? And bad.
Have you ever seen the original Roadhouse?
No.
Okay, so, I mean, there's a scene in the movie. I mean, it's a good movie. Have you seen the new one? No. Okay, well, in the original one, there's a scene that, do you know who Patrick Swayze is at least, right?
Yeah. Okay. I love Patrick.
Like, my master sergeant that I had really early on kind of put something in my head that stuck with me forever. It's like, be nice. Like, all you have to do is be nice to somebody, and it's going to go 90% better for you as the person working there than it is anything. So be nice until it's time to not be nice. So whether that be for somebody who's approaching you and threatening you, then that's the time to not be nice. But not everybody knows what that means until you actually have to deal with it.
Right.
So that's a benefit of working with people who also know how to relay that type of information on. And that's another thing that I think we lack in, is that we don't give people enough information to be able to be successful in the Department of Corrections.
Right.
So that's my 2 cents.
I love it. I appreciate that 2 cents for having someone that actually works there. I have a couple of friends that work at the El Dorado prison or anything like that. They've seen that, work closely with BTK or the Carr brothers and stuff like that. But with my show that I want to do in October, I'm trying to get past like the BTK, the typical Wichita crimes or serial killers we know. I'm trying to get into more like personal and deeper crimes,
like ones that haven't been heard maybe or made public.
Yeah. There's another one that's like about swatting, which is a video game tactic with people who do online video games and stuff like that. And
I was at the hospital for the biggest one that they had in a long time when I was still working at the ER.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. I mean, a lot of the nurses and cops are married. Like, that's just one of the things. Like, it's very common. And the big one that they had in Wichita was the guy ended up dying because the cops opened fire on him.
Yes,
and I knew one of the cops, but they have to put all these cops off duty because they don't actually know who shot him sometimes because so many people were firing.
Yep.
And that was back in like 20, I'm going to guess 14 or 13.
Yeah, I'm going to cover that. And it's actually on a Netflix series show. It's like The Web of Lies or something like that. And it talks about like internet sensation crimes and stuff being mixed up. And it's the first episode. And it's something like where they sent the guy to the wrong house and everything. And I used to live not even 3 minutes away from that house and actually drove by it a couple of times and everything. But yeah, that's one of the crimes I'm going to talk about in October and everything like that.
I don't know much about it, but I do know some of the officers that were involved because they came into the ER all the time, bringing either patients in or they had to, every day you have cops up there, every hour you have cops up there. So like I dealt a lot with the law enforcement, a lot of sheriff's department. We had a lot of, inner city people getting transferred there because we were one of, I think, 2 emergency assessment centers in the state of Kansas. So like you deal with a lot of law enforcement.
Yeah.
Have you heard about the murder that happened in the apartment complex in the West Wichita? The woman that was decapitated?
No.
Yeah, have you ever went to go look for an apartment? Okay, so like if you go to Wichita, I think they have a new rule that they have to call a number to let them know they ask for your driver's license.
Uh-huh.
And they put this in a system and then they call this phone number. Hey, I'm going to give this person a tour of this apartment, blah, 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 blah. And usually either they lock everything up, but like there's a check-in like log of everybody that goes in to look at an apartment in Wichita. And I think this is one of the reasons why is because the woman that was decapitated was going to show an apartment to somebody and she came up missing.
Oh my gosh. How long ago?
I think it was close to 25, 30 years. It's been a minute.
Wow.
It was at the Westlink. Is it Westlink? What's the ones over there off of 21st? It's over by the baseball fields. Really nice apartments. Like really, really nice apartments on the west side. So, yeah. And I don't remember if they found her head or if they found her body or something, but they just never found the person who actually killed her.
Oh my gosh. That is crazy. See, this is why, like, I only knew about the true crimes that, like, last year I did the true crimes that resonated with me growing up and what I remember happening in my hometown, realizing, like, the world's not perfect. This stuff happens and everything, but deep diving into Wichita, you've already given me, like, 3 or 4 stories I need to look at for this true crime series.
Yeah, it's it's the biggest city in Kansas, so, like, it's hard to not have that type of crime. But like serial killers, I think that we don't hear about them. We don't hear about a serial killer. Like if you think about it, like.
Well, like the only ones that you can relate into Wichita is like the BTK or the Carr brothers. And that's where I'm trying to like, okay, it's common. I'm trying to get more deeper into like the ones that have killed doctors or the beheaded lady at the apartments. Like
Yeah.
And I know Jay has a lot of connection to those too because he picks up most of those bodies. He goes and
Right.
so it's nice to have people that can give me some type of direction when it comes to this.
Well, in that show on Netflix, Mindhunter, they actually had one other guy from Kansas who was from Wellington, Kansas. So, like, I don't know if I don't think he committed the murders in Wellington, but he was from Wellington, and they talked about his, I guess, childhood and stuff like that. And then he moved to, like, Pennsylvania is where he committed the murders or something like that.
Gotcha.
Pretty wild.
Yeah.
Like, do you know this co-ed killer? Like, you've heard of him, right, in California?
No.
Real big guy. Like, that's who they start the show off of, and that's who gave them the most of their information to be able to start profiling people.
I knew there was some guy that, like, there was some true crime story that happened, and one of the accessories to the crime kind of guys lived here in Wichita, and he was kind of like not mentally all there and everything, and he kind of helped with the true crime, but he got arrested here in Wichita, and the trial happened here in Wichita, and I need to deep dive more invest in that, but
there was
crazy.
one guy from the cartel that got arrested, and he got arrested in Mexico, but it happened in El Dorado. There was a woman who was murdered in a hotel room in El Dorado. That's pretty wild too.
See, like, we're gonna have to like help. You're gonna have to like give me all these links and stuff and tell me these names.
Well, it's not links. It's just what I hear. Like, yeah. You hear working at the prison, you hear who was involved with certain things. So, like, I'm not gonna ever drop the name, but I'll definitely be like, oh, you should check into this story. Like,
yeah, there we go. Yeah, I would love any direction because I'm trying to get past the like stereotypical like media names. I'm trying to get, and I think the reason I'm attached to Tanya's Soup Kitchen is because I love small businesses and I love that place. It has
and
great
her
food.
big thing was like she was big into the community, like giving back to the community.
Yep.
So like, I think that Wichita stopped like, I guess whatever their daily do for her funeral, I do believe.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a pause for a while. They took a break and like honored her and everything. And how it happened, I want to get. That's why I was like, I have had a couple of really close friends that it takes some, like we talked about before, it takes some foreplay and everything. But I've had them agree to meet with me and kind of give me a little more. Because when you meet with people and you talk about these true crime stories, you kind of hear more of the crime and what the person did versus who the victim was. So I kind of want to make sure any story that I do invest in, I can be able to paint a picture of what the person was. And Tanya was a really great advocate for the Wichita community. She gave her heart out to what her business was, and what happened to her was crazy. Like, she got murdered. Like, she was obviously people noticed she's not, showing up for her job and she's been missing. So a lot of calls went in, and then they did a welfare check and they went to her house and they talked to her roommate, and they did questioning with the roommate, and the roommate like said, yeah, I haven't seen her either. She's been gone. I don't know. I haven't seen her either. And then they left, and the police officers were still in the driveway, and the roommate made a phone call to 911 and said, I just murdered my girlfriend. Someone needs to come get her. And then he walked out and talked to the officers and say, my girlfriend's down in the basement. She was down in the basement the whole time, dead, for about 2 or 3 days. And the officers are doing a welfare check, and they just talked, and it's mind boggling. Like, she was right there. If you would have someone talked to her and someone investigate the house, you would have seen it, but you guys were about to leave. Like, thank God he called, or, it's just mind boggling about how that planned out. And apparently one of her friends that I've been talking to says that it was a long time coming. It was a lot of toxic things, and she was just trying to do right by giving him a place to stay, but he was like infatuated and in love with her. And it was an uncomfortable situation, but she didn't feel the right to kick him out.
And that's the downfall for being nice to people.
Exactly. Sometimes. And that's where it devastates me, especially like good things and like bad things happen to good people. It just sucks.
Well, like the ones with the kids are pretty wild too. So like the one where like they hired a psychic to come and try to find the kid. Like this was like in the last 5 years. And like he was under like a bridge, I think. But like the
Yep.
girl, like he knew the girlfriend had something to do with it, or like
Mm-hmm.
the stepmom or something like
Yeah.
that. Like
Yep.
that's wild.
Yeah. And the what, like, we could go on for days. So, like, the one that was, like, believing in the faith, she was following her, like, boyfriend and they got engaged, but then it was like a Mormon faith driven thing. And then he ended up killing the 2 kids. And then she's like, I don't know where my kids are, but they got married
Oh
and went to
yeah.
Hawaii and stuff like that. It's just, it's crazy. Like, what people do. Like, I don't know, just killing. I don't know. Maybe it's my ADHD, but I could never kill someone. I would know I'd miss a step and fuck up or like, and just killing someone to like, I don't know, like people who kill
I don't think I've
people to
ever
like,
been in a scenario where I felt like I had to think like that though either. So like that's
right,
another thing. So like if your mental health is not good, like that's probably what you're thinking about a lot.
right. And the only time I can like I don't justify it, but I understand it is like women in domestic abuse situations where they feel
Where
like
they
that's
won't
their
leave.
only way out. But that even then, it just still does it. Even then, I would rather take the bullet to myself than and that's sad enough.
Well, I think that also has to do with like it's your fight or flight like senses. So like if you're trained to get out of things, like whether that be self defense or anything like that, like no, you wouldn't put yourself in that situation. But like if it came down to it, like I'm gonna get out of that situation, and if it
Right.
has something to do with, I mean, I think that goes along with a lot of the like people who carry guns and stuff like that. I don't believe that I don't believe that they're all out to hurt somebody, but they've been a lot of them are law enforcement or they've been in law enforcement for sure, but like they don't want to be put in that situation to where they feel like they have to I guess put harm in somebody's way, but if they have to, they want to be prepared.
Right. Right. It's like what I talk about when I'm meeting with clients to talk about life insurance and everything like that. Like you have a fire extinguisher in your house? Good. You hope you never have to use it. I hope there's a day I never or you never have to use it. But when that day comes, feel glad that you have it. And it's
And that's why
kind
I find the whole open to carry thing so stupid. It's like, why would you let somebody know you have a gun? Like that's just calling for somebody to
right.
either like it's putting a target on your back first of all, but yeah, it's your right to do it, but it's like, why would you exercise a right to put yourself in harm's way? Like that's crazy to
Right.
me.
Right. And it shows like secret has power. Like if you are, it kind of feels that backbone or it feels that extra protection. If no one knows I have this, but if shit hits the fan, I know I have it. And usually more times than not, and I don't know this from any personal experience, but holding the gun or showing it or threatening it kind of gets you out of the loop enough to escape versus actually having to ever use it.
Plus, you're going to set off a lot of like triggers for people, like the people who have mental health issues. Like if they see a gun, they think that you might be out to harm them. Like there are psychotic people out there that do believe that. So like I've never been the one that's like, oh, I'm going to open and carry. Like I found that to be pretty crazy. Like
Right. And
setting
it's
yourself up for something to happen.
right. I've lived in a household and stuff like that where we shouldn't. It was best to not say there was a gun in the household because mental health was like bipolar and stuff like that. So if you were to mention that there's a gun in the house, someone might be in the wrong foot that day, or they enough emotions take over and they decide to take care of life themselves, which shouldn't be the case. Like so, it's just like a safety precaution. If you know how to use a gun, perfect. Hold it to your gun, hold it to your heart, keep it for your protection. But I don't know. I would never tell anyone at the Osage that I'm carrying. Like,
Right. And that the thing with mental health, like you don't know who's having a bad day. Like
right,
I can honestly say that like I 100% believe in depression and I think people have it, but I've never felt, I guess I've been
depressed.
sad. Yeah. My mom died. Like I was sad, but like I've never felt like anything was ending or I needed to end something. That's a
Right,
different state of mind. And like, I think a lot of that has to do with like your come up, like how are you able to deal with these things? So like if you weren't
right,
taught how to deal with it, like if you had sports to take out aggression on certain things, then, and say you didn't have those sports and you didn't know how to take those aggressions out on things, I'm sure that mental health could build up on you tremendously more than somebody who did have those things.
Absolutely.
So like mental health is like, I've said, I can say that I've never been depressed. I think that's a way different thing than being sad. It's not just being sad. Being depressed is feeling like there's no use for you and no use for certain things and stuff like that. Like I've never felt that. So I can't speak to somebody who's ever felt that. So like I would never try to put myself in those shoes.
Right.
If that makes sense.
I mean, as someone that has felt like the world would be better without me and everything, it's like, it is a mental health thing. It is something that I have struggled with. I've talked about it on my podcast some too. Like I'm bipolar. I'm bipolar too. I'm not Kanye West bipolar, but I don't have hysteria. I don't have crazy things. I don't think the whole world is out to get me. But I do. My world can be perfectly fine. There's nothing, absolutely nothing wrong. And I just think the world will be better without me. And I do struggle through that, but it's being able, like you said, being able to know how to process that, how to know this is temporary. Everything is temporary. And just taking it one day at a time, and then understanding that finding valuation and finding self-worth in others and other people, or what you think is self-worth, is not what it is. It's you understanding that I can wake up and I can be proud of myself. I can wake up and know that, hey, I got out of bed today. Good job. Hey, you brushed your teeth today. Good job. No, celebrating those small steps. And if I have the mental capacity to celebrate big steps, I will do it. Just finding that balance. And I think it is very true where it's like how you grew up, how you're able to process it, because it could feel like the worst day ever, and you're really like, my bills are paid. I have someone that loves me. I have family that loves me. I have a whole group of people that would notice if I was gone, but in my head, it's telling me something completely different.
Yeah,
and
like I don't think anybody that has ever been through that has any idea like how to, I guess, put that into words though either. So like whenever you hear somebody say like, I'm just having a bad day, like, okay, just leave it at that. Let them deal with that, especially if you've never been through that. Because I can honestly say the saddest I've ever been is when I lost my mom. So I've never, I can't say that I've ever been sad about anything else that way, to where like, I guess you almost feel like it was almost impossible, if that makes sense. Like, how is that possible? Because that I've said this numerous times. Like, there's several things that they can't teach you in school, and that's like how to lose a parent or somebody that's close to you and stuff like that. But like, I don't know. It's weird. I think it also has something to do with like I've got a younger brother and a younger sister. So like the thought process was a lot differently. If that I didn't have to do it by myself, I guess, or I think I put that all on myself to where I don't know, to where I was strong for them rather than me winging it on me. I think that helped too. But my sister and my brother, like I don't even honestly know what goes through his head because he doesn't talk to. He's got autism. I mean, it's not pretty bad. He's just not a sociable person, anyways. But my sister, she took it way more rougher than I did. Even though I was sad, but I wasn't. I can never use the word depressed in my mind just because that could be a chemical thing. That could be a life thing that you've been through in your life to where you have triggers that happen down the road. But so I can't say that like with crime that happens in Wichita, it's like you'll never know why somebody did anything probably.
Right. And it's just, I think that's the unrelatable part where we can't relate to why kill and everything. Like I've had mental health issues, like I was saying, but I could never relate to killing someone. I'm never going to say and be able to say truthfully that I haven't thought about it. But like there's some people I wish could, but I mean, just seems like my hat and my heart goes out to you for you losing your mom. I could not I don't even think I can say it. Like I can't even imagine my world without my mom. My mom recently last month had some health problems, and I don't want to go too much detail, but that it broke me, and it was happening during a weird transition phase of my life. And she's still here with me today, but she's not the same. She's not my mom anymore. She had a stroke and everything, and she's not my mom anymore, but she's my mom. And then that alone depressed me, and that alone, but it was like one of those things I didn't feel like I really registered it until I came back here in Wichita and had the time. Because when it happened, I just went off to Texas, and it was like grind, 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 come back, HCW show, let it all out, break tables.
Well, it catches up with you.
Huh?
It caught up with you. Like you're trying to mourn at that point, like whether or not she was gone or not.
Yeah.
And the same with me, like another, like there's blessings in disguises throughout your entire life, but like losing my mom was so hard, but like I didn't have to see her go through something like that. Like my mom died in her sleep. So like the little things like that, like she didn't suffer that I know of, and the way that the people claim she didn't suffer. So like I couldn't imagine if I had to actually watch my mom go through something like that or change to where my mom didn't just die. She became a completely different person, almost like how you see your parents age. Like
yes.
You're almost raising a kid again at that point. It's like, I don't know how that might change a completely different way of how I would have looked at it or reacted to my mom.
Right.
So those are the other things that like you don't take into account. Like, oh, I had to watch my mom sort of for almost a whole year to almost degrade and like mentally, like the people that deal with the Alzheimer's or anything like that.
Yes.
Like, I don't know how that would ever like weigh on me. So I think that in that way, losing my mom the way I did, I was blessed in that way.
If you don't mind, how did you lose your mom?
She died in her sleep. Like the coroner that did the autopsy on her said that she had several organs failing, and they found her like just to sleep peacefully. But like she was the type of person that she didn't ever want to like put herself like in, I guess, need of other people. Like she always wanted to do stuff for other people, but she never wanted it. She just never took care of herself. And she was a smoker. She was, she didn't eat right. I mean, there's a lot of things that my mom had a lot of mental health issues. So she was depressed, but like I don't believe that she would ever do anything to harm herself, but I know that she did not take care of herself. And that right there is a sign of mental health. Like if you don't wake up, I guess, and like seize the day, if you will, like that's a sign of mental health. And it's just overlooked sometimes. I think more often than not, but I mean, I can say that I can argue that I was blessed to lose my mom the way that I did. However sadistic that might sound, I didn't have to suffer through watching my mom change, if that I guess is different.
Yeah. And that's been one of the hardest things for me because she's my best friend, and I know, granted, I knew she was getting older and everything, but just seeing who she is a different person, and then you can only help so much. And then, of course, she only had basic insurance at the time, so she's not basic therapy or the therapy she needs and stuff like that to recover is not being paid for. So I make more than my sister, so I am helping more with those bills, which it has brought me to have to pause the podcast for a little bit. So like, when they say it rains, it pours, it's kind of been like that month for me, and it's been hard, but it's one of those things, like part of me is like, I don't have time to rest, but then people around me say like, you need to digest this. But if I digest this, I don't know how I'm going to truly react. So it's been one of those.
Right.
Sorry.
Oh, totally fine.
So, I mean, it's just better to like put your foot forward and just keep trying.
If I was going to like say anything to you, and there's no way to make it better, I would say that like, if you aren't taking care of yourself, how do you expect to take care of anything else? So like, that's I don't know. Like it's,
put your gas mask on first.
Only certain people can, deal with things the way that you deal with them, and that's you. And nobody else can say that they've lived your life. Nobody else can say that they've dealt with the roadblocks in your life that you have. So I think that goes to, I mean, that right there goes to show you, like, you're still here. You showed up for this. You show up for work. You show up for HCW. You show up for things you love, and you are doing what you can. So, like, you should never hold that against yourself, even though you do get to see, you have to see your mom change in the way that she is. But
Right. And just
so,
one thing that's like as sadistic as we were talking about before, at least she's not gone. She's still here. There's hope. It's slow progression. It was doing really well, and then it kind of regressed, and it's a back and forth thing, but I'm just happy she's here. Though she's not the same form, she's here, and it's a weird way thing to say, learn to love who she is now, but it is like, I'm going to have my mom back eventually. May not be 100% the same, but I'm glad she is still here. Like, it's so funny because a couple weeks before she went on, she had the stroke and everything. Her and my dad went to the Dallas Comic Con, and they got to meet John Cena. And my dad drew a picture for John Cena and everything like that. And my mom was just so nervous. The only thing she could spew out was, "My daughter has a podcast and she loves you." It's like, that's just. And at the time when she told me that, I was like, "Oh, Mom, like, you could have said anything. Ask him this, ask him that." But then now I'm like, that's just the best thing in the world, that my mom, the first thing and the only thing my mom could say was to support me. And I don't know.
That's a mom, though.
That's the best mom I could ever ask for. I'm so lucky.
Agreed. She's usually good moms are going to be the number one fan of their children, no matter what.
Yeah.
And that's why Billy's mom, I look at her like a mom. I look at my wife's mom like a mom. I mean, there's great moms are not just the person who birthed you either. So, I mean, I think that, you could lose your best friend's mom if she was a mom to you, and it'd still be as hard. But, like, it's different when you have to watch it happen. Right. So, I couldn't imagine. So, I do apologize for you having to go through that.
It's okay. I don't know. Some people, I don't know. Some people just tell their whole story and everything. And I'm surprised I even told you this. I was gonna yeah, let's get through. Okay, fine. But we're just talking to you, and just I think talking to you just feels natural to be able to talk about anything and stuff like that with certain people. And that's why I really love podcasting. It's just having conversations with people and being able to just relate to them. I'm here. I hear you. I'm with you. I know we're not the best of friends, but you being able to instill your insight and life into me about your mom and everything makes me realize okay, well, my mom's not dead, and my mom,
that would never be my intention at all. But I do. One thing that I do think that people, even if you're not close with your mom, that's one thing that I wish that I think I helped her move that Sunday before, just the appreciation for what, I know that I've been frustrated with my mom. That's the thing. Going back to why didn't I call her that one last time or something like that? Those are the things that bugged me in the beginning. And I couldn't talk. Still to this day, my mom has ruined good music for me. I can't listen to Jewel by myself in the car. If I'm with somebody, I'm fine. But if I'm by myself, nope. It ain't happening. It's those things that she left. It's those things that she left for you unintentionally. So good music. So my mom was a huge fan of Jewel or just the older country type music. So those are the things that I wish that I took more, I guess, time to enjoy more with her.
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing that I would never say, oh, at least your mom's still alive. That's harsh as shit. But I would not want to go through what you're going by having to witness what is going on. So especially if my mom, if I knew she was going through organ failure, I would want to stop and do everything I could to help her get better or to make it easier on her. Right. I didn't have to do that. So that's my blessing, I guess, is that I didn't have to do what you did.
Yeah. It's a lot of tragedies are blessings in disguise. And some people like to say why did God do this? But I feel like it's like God is using this. And people like to say, like, God won't give you anything like you can't handle. But I was like, I think God gives you more than you can handle, so you can learn to lean on Him and learn to like depend on your higher power or whatever that is you believe on. But I think it's like a shock value to show that I thought I was stressed out because the dog shit on the carpet. No, there's bigger and other things that
Right.
matter in the world. It kind of puts you in that humbling position again. And I appreciate
But I think that's
you.
also why podcasting, like my buddy, he says that he uses this as his mental health, like to catch up or whatever it is. But like it can be used for several different things. I don't think that not everybody, I think, can handle life without somebody to talk to. So that's why I think psychiatrists are awesome.
Yeah.
But I also don't think that psychiatrists are necessarily for everybody. Like,
Yeah.
I think it could just be somebody to listen. I think that's the biggest thing is just listen. And like I said, I think that comes from me not ever having to feel like I've been depressed. So I don't feel like I need it. I think that if I ever needed to talk to somebody, my wife would be there or some of my friends would be there. So like some people I think do need certain people. But I think if you find the right person, you might not need a psychiatrist. It could be your significant other. That could be your mental health, I guess, vent, if you will.
Right. And that's how I felt with certain conversations I've had on my podcast. Like there's certain conversations with people that have like just enlightened me and like taught me so many things. Like this conversation we're having it's given me like I've been having this down in me and not wanting to talk about it and everything, but us being able to talk about it.
It's still fresh though too. So like, that's probably the biggest thing.
And it's just being able to finally talk about it with someone that like gets it in a way that can like instill light in me and just kind of keep me grounded and just be like, it's okay. This is normal emotions. It's okay to be going through. It's okay to not be okay. And that's bottom line. And that's something I haven't been able to like.
I wish I could give you a hug now. So, but it's like, but like, I've also never seen this. I've heard this side of you like on your recordings, but I've never seen it. I've always seen the happy go joy of Jordan.
I was about to say, it's like most people, I don't like this version. I don't want to show this version. I think sometimes given this version. And
I don't like hearing my voice, if that makes sense. So, but I mean, I think this version of other people, I think, is also you find out more who you are and what you're capable of. So, like you being able to, like, you didn't want to tell me this story. I was never going to try to push it out of you at all either, and you just said it. So that right there should tell you that you can talk to anybody about it. I mean, it also helps that I'm not judgmental, and I've been through, and I have lost my mom or part of my mom. Like you've lost part of the mom that you remember, and that's what it is.
Yeah, and I think that's honestly like mourning that. Like we talked about it earlier, just being able to give her a phone call anytime or call her any other day. I still have all my mom's voicemails she left me on my phone. So that I still can't go back to listen to them, but I still have them. Oh, yeah. I have some of those too. I know I have them there, but I haven't dug deep in there. I think I'm one of those people where if you call me, the voicemail box is full because I just don't delete even like from credit cards.
I had a special app that downloaded all the phone calls, and I didn't realize that I was doing this until I lost all the memory on my phone. So I was like, why do I have all this memory on my phone? Every single phone call I ever made or received, it recorded every phone call. And I went through and deleted almost all of them, but then I found the ones of my mom and I saved those in a separate file.
When was her birthday?
Another blessing in disguise.
When was your mom's birthday?
March 13th. So.
My mom said September 21st. So.
And it wouldn't, I think the worst part, like working in mental health, like the biggest part of mental health that I saw was men who lost their moms would always, like, it would be a busy weekend for Mother's Day. And I lost my mom the Thursday before Mother's Day. So that was, I think that's also the one thing that probably hit harder is because like now Mother's Day is a total different thought. Like, I still wish people Mother's Day, but like, it's not that I don't want to think about my mom. It's that, I only had one previous Mother's Day.
And the picture that's your profile picture. It's a picture of you hugging your mom, right?
Yeah, that's actually the dance we shared. I don't know who actually took it, but I think it was my wife. That was at we had a destination wedding, so my mom couldn't go to the wedding, but she drove us to the airport to go to Jamaica. And when we came back, we had a reception here in Hutch at one of the venues here. And that was the picture that somebody took of me and my mom dancing at the wedding reception.
I love that. Yeah.
Can't listen to Reba either. Thanks, Reba.
Reba was the show was definitely for my grandma, but my mom loved Reba. She also loved Shania Twain a lot and everything.
My mom did not like Shania Twain, so she was more into. She loved Willie Nelson, Kenny Rogers, Dolly Parton.
Yep, my mom loved Dolly Parton. I think me and my mom bonded, and because I bonded more with music with my dad, but I think more and wrestling with my dad. But I think I bonded more with movies with my mom. So like we always watch like old movies like Steel Magnolias.
Yeah. I mean, certain movies with my mom. My mom would make me watch like. Have you ever seen Simon Birch?
Mm-hmm.
Like that movie. Like I couldn't watch that movie now. And then my mom's favorite movie, like one of my mom's favorite actors was Kevin Costner, and she watched one of her favorite movies was one of his like lower budget movies called The War. I don't know if you should check it out. It's a pretty good movie. But movies and good music was my mom's thing. She liked all different genres, all different decades and all that stuff. But my dad and I, my dad worked at the prison too, and I think that's what bonded us.
Gotcha.
So.
And your dad's still alive and everything? Yeah.
Yeah, my dad, every week we either go to dinner or I see him at least once to twice a week I see him, so. Good. But I still call him Terry. Like, I think that's the weird thing. I've never called my dad. I've always called him Terry. Yeah. But of course I don't say, hey, Terry. Like I refer to him, oh, hey, or else I will say my dad, but I've never said, hey, dad. Uh-huh. If that makes sense. Yeah. Like some people, I'm sure you have said, hey, dad, or like they have their own nickname. Mm-hmm. I'm usually like, I don't know. I thought about that like a long time ago. I was like, I've never called my dad. It's really weird. I've had two dads though. Like I had my real dad who was with my mom when she passed, and then my stepdad. Oh. And I call my stepdad dad just because it's a very weird thing. Like that's like a whole podcast episode in itself. So
and it's right. Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm much closer to my real dad now than I was. I would say even before my mom passed. Like I would say that bonded us even more. Her losing her. I mean, my dad took it. I mean, still takes it hard. He got mandatory overtime at the prison the night that she, I guess, passed in her sleep, and then he had to come home from work and found her. So, like, oh man, he retired. It'll be just over a year in April is when he retired, and he held a lot of, I guess, resentment towards that just for getting mandatory. But I mean, he's way better now. Like it's hard. It's just the way certain situations happen. Like, I love my dad to death, and sometimes I wish that I think my parents should have separated instead of been together and everything. But seeing the way what my mom is going through now, I'd never seen my dad act like such a dad. I don't know, maybe it was a humbling experience for him to see, because they weren't the best. I wouldn't look at them as role models. Same with my dad. Like my dad wasn't, he wasn't the affectionate type, I guess. Mm-hmm. Like he would never hurt a woman and he would never hurt my mom, but he was never the guy that showed affection towards me or my mom or my brothers. Just that's just not what we were. Yeah. But now that my mom has passed, he's gotten way more affectionate.
Right. And I think that's where he's because I don't know. I'm sure after being together for so many years, you kind of tend to lose that appreciation for each other or take each other for a little granted. And I think he's gone back on like it's like treating her like a princess again, or like their
Well, it's another
newlyweds
blessing
again.
in disguise, I think.
Exactly. And which I wish it would have not had to happen that way for her to get that treatment. But am I going to be complaining that she's getting that now when she needs it the most? No, I'm not.
Right. But I appreciate you coming on. We'll definitely have to do this again.
Yeah.
And what's that?
Any final questions or anything like that for exit?
Oh, I'm sure we could go for another 2 hours with questions, but
I know,
it was mainly
like,
just a hangout session. That way, I mean, you sort of took and ran with it, so I think it's fine.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm quite a.
I didn't have anything written down. I mainly just wanted to. It's mainly to highlight what you've done and what you're doing and what you plan to do, and you did all that with side stories and stuff like that. So I think this is a good episode.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Bobby. I appreciate you.